When I say all wheel, you say drive, all wheel. That's not how it works. What's up, people? RussianFreak09 here, and well, today I'm going to be reviewing the street spec version of the GT-R R34 Skyline in the crew. So there is a reason this is one of the most overpowered cars in street, or one of the more overpowered cars in street. I'll get to that in a bit. It feels like a tank, handles like a brick, but it's really fast and it's real stable thanks to, you got it, all-wheel drive. So it does not spin off very easily on contact with curbs, railings, other cars, etc. Great for ramming, but, you know, use that responsibly, and it's very forgiving. Very strong, this car, on tracks with lots of sharp right-handers that demand constant braking and acceleration, especially from a low speed. You'd be really happy using this thing on Chicago Tour, Airbase Assault, Grant Park Loop, Detroit Tour wouldn't be too bad, and so on and so forth. And if you get your racing line down to perfection, you can still use it on tracks like Rushmore and sprint to St. Louis, but you're not going to have a lot of an advantage, too much of an advantage against things like Mini Coopers. And unfortunately, my experiences with this car on Riverside Run have been very depressing. Anyway, so here's the breakdown if you're looking into buying one. The top speed is fairly impressive. I'm not sure if it's the fastest, but it's pretty damn fast. The acceleration is really good and stable. And unlike in the GTI, the NOS is also, you can feel it. It helps a lot with acceleration. The best part, though, is that there's almost no wheel spin on NOS input, even from 5 miles an hour. So it's really advisable to max out your starting NOS perk and your NOS power perk, which means that you can take off from the starting line and get to the first corner before the sausage fest about half a second behind you, where everybody gets wrecked and there's people inside other people's asses. You don't want to be a part of that. Unless you do, then, you know. Now, this car is not nearly as nimble as the Z4 or the Mini Cooper, because the Z4 is agile with throttle input, rear-wheel drive. Mini Cooper's agile while coasting, front-wheel drive. The R34 is all-wheel, it's neither. You have to use the brake a lot, which means that you have to adopt some circuit driving techniques. By that I mean brake hard, like circuit, like in the game circuit, not like you don't need to race a car in real life. But you have to brake hard in a straight line before you start steering into a corner. And I use this loosely because you do start steering as you trail off the brake, but you can't expect to do things like with the 370Z that I used to do. That was my first car in this game, where you tap the brake in the beginning and coast through the corner because it has enough turn in with no throttle input. No, this car doesn't have that. It'll steer you into a wall. The R34 is it's best when you brake hard, a lot harder than you would expect, actually. Right before the corner, and then you turn out of the corner and accelerate. This car's all about that constant brake accelerate. Brake accelerate. You don't have to try to keep as much speed as you can because you'll gain it right back, but the turning is very important because it doesn't turn all that well. Now, handbrake drifting, it's possible, but please don't make this a thing because it loses you time. It feels good, but trust me, it isn't. And even though it doesn't corner as tightly, you can be off the steering and on the gas sooner, which means that basically you can start putting in gas while you're still turning without being afraid of spinning off. You can put in gas when you're going over a curb and not be afraid of spinning off. So this really makes the car, even if in the turn you won't be gaining as much, it's still quite a bit faster overall. Now, after you learn the actual hard braking, you can start doing a bit of precision adjustments mid-corner. And by this I literally mean don't try this the moment you get the car. First, get used to the braking aspect of it. A lot of people can't figure it out until much later. But for 90-degree corners especially, you can try braking a bit later, once you've got the hang of it, and turning while coasting and then tapping the brake mid-turn. Now, what this does with most cars is it spins them the fuck out. But due to its stability, this actually pivots this car if you do it in the proper place, which is literally as you pass the apex. So you'd normally be going wide at this point, but as you tap the brake, then you get even more turn in halfway through the corner, pivots your car, and you can face out of the corner and start accelerating sooner. Still a very dangerous technique. Doesn't work on bumpy surfaces. Doesn't work on grass. It's kind of dangerous as you can just understeer into a wall if it doesn't go as planned. But that's another strength of the car. So essentially, one of the most overpowered cars. Z4 Mini Cooper are the closest competitors. This car is completely different from both, though. Good NOS, good acceleration and handling. Good acceleration and stability. I apologize. And I'd say it's totally worth buying. Yes, half of each street lobby is GTRs, but it does live up to its name. It's rather customizable and it's pretty. It has an excellent performance. So I hope you guys appreciated this quick overview. I'll be doing the GTR and other specs as well as other cars really soon. So stick around for that. And if you have any differing opinions, please post them in the comments. Thank you.